feel like there's a fly in here that's going to really annoy me if I start speaking now. I'm going to carry on. You might see me swatting. Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It is Mikey once again. How are we? It has been a little while since I've done any kind of bookish content for this channel. I'm not going to apologise for that. It's just the way that it is. December is mental and I don't really tend to read or do a lot of bookish stuff in December. There's just too much else to do. And I work in retail, peeps. And January has seemed to have passed in a bit of a strange blur. It's been busy as well. I've been doing a lot of things, but I did actually manage to do some reading and some book buying. I'm going to try and summarize this stuff quite briefly today for you in this video because I feel like it. First of all, I'm going to talk about the books that I bought in January. I'm going to move my new little bullet journal, which is actually really nice. It's orange and it's got bullet journal written there and it's from Tiger and it just feels very, very tactile. My notebook for 2019. I plan to do all my planning in there. Anyway, so I'm going to start by showing you some of the books that I bought in January. Because of course I was on a book buying ban for January. So you understand, obviously I bought some books, but I actually did really, really well. I bought 4, which isn't very many for me, because I realise I have so many on here that I haven't read yet and I want to get to, so I'm not going to pressure myself to buy too many books right now. But the books that I have bought are completely necessary. The first book I bought in January, oh I can't speak today, I'm out of practice, is A Keeper by Graham Norton, and it's been getting very high, it's being talked about, very highly rated online, and it did intrigue me. But Simon on his channel Savage Reads has been raving about it. He says it's kind of twisty and gripping, and I think that's what I need very, very soon to read, because the books I've been reading haven't gripped me, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm looking forward to reading it. It's set in Ireland. I don't really know much about it other than I need something twisty in my life. I'm just going to put you here. No, I'm not, because I might knock my drink over. This next book, well, it's a set of books. It's 2 books. I have wanted a Gypsy Boy by Mikey Walsh for a long time. I've really wanted to read it. I follow Mikey on all his social medias. Although having said that now, I realise I haven't seen him for a really, really long time. What's he doing? And I must find out. And I've been keeping an eye out for it to be a little bit cheaper. And it's constantly quite expensive. But W.H. Smiths have this £6 box set. It's like a box set, but there's also a sequel which I didn't know that he'd written, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's a memoir, and Stephen Fry says it is a revelation, moving, terrifying, funny and brilliant. I shall never forget it. And I was like, oh, I want to read this. I'm looking forward to reading something that I know it's a memoir, but I'm hoping it's told in a way. I haven't even opened it. Look, it's still in its seal, but I'm hoping it's told with a kind of a fiction lilt. And the other book that I bought, and I didn't know this was out, and that's the reason why I bought it. Jay and I were shopping in Waterstones in Swansea, and we were I was just browsing around, and I saw this and I thought, what on earth? This is a Firefly novel, peeps. Have you watched Firefly? If you haven't, stop everything that you're doing and go and watch it. It is one of the most fantastic TV shows that's ever been made. This is the first ever novel set in the Firefly universe, and its consulting editor was Joss Whedon, and it's by James Lovegrove, but the original story was by Nancy Holder. And Firefly is about cowboys in space. I'm just going to say it like that. And the back says, the 9 of us have been flying for about a month on fumes and tears, heading off once more into the black to see what work we can find. The usual deal, whatever's going, if it pays, we'll take it. Sorry state of affairs, but that's how it is. And I have started reading it. There's a series of novels coming out. There are more on its way. I think 2 more this year. And it's, first of all, it was beautiful. It's hardback. It's got this lovely lovely cover and a lovely kind of illustration of Mal and Zoe, which made me happy. And it looks kind of ripped at the top. It's not, that's just the picture. And the inside cover, I'll have to show you it, is obviously brown, for the brown coats. If you know, you know. and I have started reading it, and I'm hoping that it's kind of being said that these novels are the season 2 that never was. So this makes me really, really happy. I will say I've started reading it, and the language is quite different to get your head around, because it's written not from any of their perspectives, but it's written in the same kind of lilt, again, twice for lilt today, that the show has. The way that the characters speak is kind of Western, and that's how it sounds. So yeah, and there's also Chinese in it, which I can't say, but I sounded out as best I can. But I bought this just immediately. I just grabbed it, I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. Really exciting. And that was all the books I bought in January. So you can see I did quite well. 4 books, all bargains, and now on to the books that I read in January. Ugh. I'm crouching down. There are only 3, but 3 is good for me. The first one that I finished in 2019 is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Now, if you've seen my other videos about this book, I was raving about it, and the first part of the novel just completely gripped me. So it's about Aidan, I never remember his last name, Aidan Bishop, and he has 8 days to solve the crime of who murders Evelyn Hardcastle. But his 8 days is the same day repeated, kind of like Groundhog Day, but for each of those days he wakes up in a different body involved around the murder. So he has different perspectives to try and solve the crime. So it's kind of timey-wimey, it's kind of Downton Abbey, it's Agatha Christie, it's a mixture of things in a good way, and I found it fascinating at the beginning, and I took a break from reading it to celebrate Christmas, and I came back to it in January, and I did remember who everybody was, so that was a positive, because I'd read that some people had forgotten, and there's a lot of characters in this, isn't it? And I thought that I would forget, but I hadn't, so that was positive. But flip it round, I just found that it got a little bit complicated, maybe a bit too complicated for its own good. It was jumping round and round to people and experiencing different days and different orders. And at the beginning, that was really fascinating, but towards the end, it got a bit tedious. I just thought, come on, I just want to bloody know who killed Evelyn, please, come on. But I ploughed through it, because that kind of middle third was just like, oh, come on. We're repeating the day now, round and round, and as much as you give me different perspectives, there's only so far that's going to hold your interest. But I will say, when I got to the end, I found it fascinating, and I found kind of what the whole situation was, because it is explained why he is experiencing the day like this, and that was brilliant and a really, really interesting concept. And I found, when you discovered who actually did it, that was quite a cool revelation, and there was lots of the kind of the weird, twisty sci-fi stuff I really, really found fascinating and wanted more of. I think I wanted less of the sort of Downton Abbey stuff, but they went hand in hand, and I like the idea that I just like the ideas behind the book. So I do think I did enjoy it in general, but it wasn't my favourite read. First read of 2019 though, finished it, happy days. And I would recommend to people, but I would definitely say read it quickly. Just get in there and get through it as quick as you can. Yeah, but I understand why it's got all the praise that it has. It just wasn't completely my favourite. Then on to something a bit different. Wundersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is book 2 in the Nevermore series of books, and as you know from this channel already, I thoroughly enjoyed the first season. The first book, Nevermore, I loved it. I didn't love this one. I liked it, and again, I was reading it for Christmas and I stopped then for Christmas and came back to it. I had no trouble remembering what was happening, that was fine. I just sort of found it was a bit blah. It didn't have the sparkle the first one had. It had some sparkle. You know, I got through it quite quickly and I did enjoy it. I think for me, it was the same formula as the first book. So sort of Morrigan has joined the Wondrous Society, and she's going into classes now, and they're being blackmailed. That was kind of, didn't need to be happening. I didn't find that story, that kind of subplot, very fascinating. There were people going missing around the city, which kept her mentor Jupiter away from her, and I flipping love Jupiter. I think I just really want more of him, but he's being sort of used like Dumbledore in Harry Potter. He's only appearing very sporadically, and I think I just want more from him. And the Morrigan schooling kind of takes over, and that is what the book kind of centers around. And there was some really interesting stuff in there too, like the trick alleyways and the market. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. There's like a naughty market where people are trading in things they shouldn't be trading. That was quite cool too. I just think the first book had Morrigan fighting to get into the society, and I think I wanted the society then to be wonderful, and I don't know, I feel like I'm giving this a bit of a slating. It's still good. It's still good. You have to trust me. If you read the first one, you have to read the second one. But it just, for me, felt a little bit flat. Now, this could also be because I started reading it in January, before Christmas in November, and then stopped for December and came back in January. So it could be just me and how I've read it. But at the same time, you know, it was like the villain who is absent for the whole book kind of then reappears at the end, like in the first book. It was kind of like reading The Chamber of Secrets, which follows the same formula as the first Harry Potter book. Hopefully for the third one, we're going to get a bit of something different. Still there, still wondrous, but more. I don't know. Felt a bit flat. It was all a bit flat. And then lastly, but not least actually, this is a Doctor Who short story collection called 12 Angels Weeping, by Dave Rudden. And this is a collection of 12 short stories about the villains in Doctor Who, and it's got a sort of loosely Christmassy theme because it's certainly more wintry than it is Christmassy. Some of the stories have Christmas as a setting or mention Christmas, but it isn't like a hugely Christmassy read as such. Wintry, snowy and cool. And it's 12 stories about the 12 villains. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this. You can see my bookmark. I have 2 stories left, so I'm going to finish it in the next couple of days, so it counts as my January wrap-up. But it was really, really clever, and each story is told from different perspectives, obviously, and they are only short. Some of them include the Doctor, like a Doctor, and companions from the past, which was really cool to see, and some of them don't. Some of them centre around just random brand new characters who are experiencing the villains for their first time. But what I thought was really, really clever was actually how the stories connected. Now, I'll have to try and explain this as succinctly as I can. The stories are not connected. The stories are all completely different, but they are in an order, and the order is important because it's like, for example, the Sontaran story is number 7, and that one wasn't my favourite, but it was alright. And then it goes into a Silurian story, and the Silurian story involves Madame Vastra, and she has got that that Sontaran sidekick that I can't remember his name of, Strax. So that was quite cool. That there's a kind of a running order which does help make the stories make sense. Just briefly, of kind of my favourites, I enjoyed the Weeping Angels one. I do love every new twist on a Weeping Angels story that they can do, because I just find them brilliant villains. I've got a real soft spot for the Ice Warriors. I don't know why, fascinated, and that was quite a good one. The Time Lords one is a Gallifreyan noir, and it really is written like, imagine you're watching an old black and white noir detective film from the 50s, and that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. That was one of my favourites, really surprising. The Silence story was cool, that has River Song in it. The Sontarans one was alright. The Silurians one I really did enjoy. I really liked that. The Ood one, now the Ood one confused me. I'm gonna have to read it again, I think. It's about a heist, and it was about three different alien races, kind of individuals coming together to rob a vault, and I feel like I missed a trick in the middle somewhere. I just didn't get it. The Zygons one was good. I'm on the Jadoon. Have I missed the Dalek one? Hang on, bear with, guys. I feel like... Did I read the Dalek one? Are they in a different order here? Oh no, the Dalek one was really good. That had the War Doctor in it. It was just really cool. It's a really actually good read, and coming out of Christmas to get back into reading again short stories is the best way to do it, because you can just have little bursts and one complete story. Fascinating, love this book, really highly rate it. Ooh. So there we go, guys. I am going to edit this video so it will be shorter, I promise, but that's a really quick video of what I bought and what I read in January all together. I think that next month normal service will resume. I don't plan on buying very many more books for February, but you know, that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy any. But I am going to try and curb that impulse a little bit, a tiny bit. This year is going to be an expensive one. Ooh, spoilers. I'll see you soon. Bye.